way with champion select here, I'm really looking out for where can Vivocade find playmaking. Trajan, you said, what do they need to do in the early game? I think sometimes they hyperfixate on their lanes, hyperfixate on Guigo. I want to see them be able to play together as a team early on and set up set pieces.
We'll see if that top lane has something new to show us. Take it away, Yeso and Hawk. Let's see if these drafts can stay interesting. We've had a couple of very spicy ones for the last 2 games, but the REB one does not give me a lot of hope. Take it away.
Much less of a focus, we should note, in these first ban phases today on support in jungle. We've seen a couple of Milios coming through, but that Enchanter trio is becoming more available, and also the Maokai not hitting the ban table nearly as much as we saw in the first 2 weeks, so that is very important to note here. Ahri, though, is the first pick for Los Grandes as that Aphelios that you would certainly expect them to grab, being one taken off the table by VKS.
Yeah, Maokai falling a bit out of favor as the meta has sped up and a lot of OPs on the board. One of them being the Ivern. We're going to get it here, Yeso. First one coming out. It's been cropping up as it is extremely strong globally. You can go Night Harvester for the Daisy 1v9 build, or you can go for a more classic supportive build to prop up Trigo. We were looking at Grell to be the big playmaker. Well, while Ivern may not be a big playmaker in his own right, he's definitely a facilitator for something explosive like a Kai'Sa.
So the big question for me, we've talked so much about how important the early game is, how Grell getting things going on the top side of the map is for VKS. Does that Ivern facilitate that in the first 15 minutes of the game?
Not really. I mean, it's skirmishing after 6 is shockingly strong if you're getting beat on by Daisy after the last round of buffs. So that is something we need to look out for, but it's not the biggest playmaker. So I'm really looking at support for damage. Rel still up on the board. Other things like Nautilus here and available. Pairing with the Kai'Sa, I need to see an engaged support here, I think, for Vivo. Los Grandes daring Gigo to pick top lane on R3 so they can ban out some of those engaged supports.
Important to note, especially if you watch last game, this Kai'Sa is a flex pick. Can go mid, can go bot.
True.
Also flexible. In terms of build path, I believe, Hawk, the AP variant with that static shiv, really getting all the value out of that, is the most popular right now, but you still can go for an 80 build, so some options there for Trigo, or, important to note, Grevthar. That is going to be the Jax counter pick into the Renekton on R3. What are your thoughts there? I know you weren't a big fan of the Jax from this game.
Yeah, we just saw a very useful Jax TM last game coming out on R5. I don't hate it as much this game into the Renekton. I think it's a better matchup. My big problem, though, is, again, Vivocade, they're lacking that playmaking. They've got carry potential. They've got utility from the Ivern. But I need to see some initiation locked in for this comp. Because right now, Los, there's no shortage of playmaking on their side. Ahri, Sejuani, Renekton, what they need is that same carry potential that Vivocade has. So, bit of a different look for both teams so far in the draft. Things up and available, like the Zeri that Los Grandes could go for in the second half that would provide them all the carry potential that they need.
Okay, I have to ask maybe a stupid question here. That's a Wukong ban with the Ivern up. How flexible is this Ivern?
You know, if it goes support, we'll be learning together. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna say.
I just saw that. I was like, wait a second, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. It maybe like it's Ivern mid tech, the LS strat. Who knows, man? We'll see. It also could just be like an errant ban. Maybe they forgot what Ivern does, because who the hell has played against this champion in the last 5 years? So I don't know.
That is a fair point. Heavy focus
towards the
Kindred
ban too. They think maybe they know something we don't about solo queue win rates or something, because that's a Kindred ban. And now with the Neela hover, I don't want to talk too much about hovers, but it could be something crazy like Ivern Neela bot with Kai'Sa mid.
Lot of options to move some of these picks around. Los focusing that jungle in the second ban phase. The hover isn't going to stay around, and there it is.
There it is.
Comes through, so it looks like this is not an Ivern in the jungle. We will learn together here today, Hawk. Wonderful. So now, talk to me. What do you see here?
And now there's legitimate flexibility as well. This Ivern, I still think Ivern Kai'Sa could both go mid or bot. Like, I'm not sure where everything's going, but Vivocade, I mean, it's not a ton of playmaking, but it is something that is more Grell-esque to me. Something with individual agency, which we so highlighted in the pregame. as being critical. But I love this adaptation from Los Grandes. They have said, okay, you guys are going to play some like kind of weird cheesy stuff with this Ivern support mid, whatever it is. We're just going to go Samira. We're going to fully index into skirmishing and try to blow you out of the water pre-15.
Man, and this is certainly, you know, the kind of pick that you can hard carry on here for Natuna. That Samira can become a big problem in the team fights when you get the sustain under your belt. And it's now possibly the Renata hover here, so it could be that Ivern in the mid lane, flexing between a bunch of different engage-heavy supports here for VKS. What will the choice be here for damage? As it is the Nautilus paired alongside that Samira for Los Grandes in the bottom lane, and that is it. There's the Leona.
All right, I like the Leona a lot for Vivo Cade Stars. It gets that engage support that I wanted earlier on. Also has a favorable matchup into the Nautilus and the Samira. Very, very good pick for damage. I think this is a favorable bot side 2v2 for Vivo Cade based on the support pick. However, we know how explosive Natuno can be in Ranger. Hey, I was critical of you in the pregame. It is time to step up. But on the other side, Vivo Cade, this top side is very, very unorthodox. And they're going up against a skirmish-heavy Renekton Ahri. Let's see if Los Grandes can punish Grell and Trigo on these wackier sort of drafts.
We've got a few interesting drafts here today. The Nila, Belveth bottom lane. We're getting the Ivern flexed into mid, and of course this Kai'Sa coming to prominence with how strong the static shift is, as well as some of these premier AD carries taking some hits. Very much looking forward to seeing Trigo on that pick. We'll welcome Trajan back in real quick here as we get ready to jump into game number 4. Trajan, what's going on?
Obviously, I don't know what's going on. I'll be quite honest. But I will say, despite all of the zaniness that is going on in BKS, the one thing that really draws my eye is the Samira for Natuno. This, if we're talking Natuno show, I'm thinking Samira, man. I'm thinking the Devil May Cry character, the one that pops off, kills everybody, goes nuts, and completely steals the show. So I'm excited for what Loss has put together, but for VKS, I can't really be excited or disappointed or anything, because I don't know how it's going to work. So I guess we'll find out. But for you, Hawk, in terms of the rest of Loss's draft, we did see Bowl back up to that Renekton right into the Jax matchup. So at least he's not on the tank duty, not on the full weak side duty necessarily.
Yeah, I think the Renekton into Jax is fine, right? It was exactly what I wanted. Just pick something that can neutralize on the top side. But Trajan, we're onto the Rift for this game 4 of the day. I love how you said it. We have no idea how Vivo Cade's composition is going to work. But as we get into this early game, I really want to highlight the importance of this mid matchup. Ivern into the Ahri. I would expect Lava to be able to get early shove into the Ivern, but once Daisy comes online, Ivern can push back very effectively. And yeah, so we highlighted the importance of Grell for Vivo Cade. So if Grevthar is not able to get involved on this Ivern, it could be very difficult for this team.
Whoa.
Yeah, definitely going to be very important for this Diego in the early game for VKS, and paired up with Grevthar's Ivern. I'm very curious to see how things play out. I want to talk to you, Hawk, a little bit about Lava. This is a player that I had some question marks about coming into this split with the changes that Los Grandes made to their roster. We know what we're going to get from Natuno, and we were curious about Ranger, but I'm wondering, I feel like Lava has been decent so far from this split. What have you seen from him through 4 games?
I'm right there with you. I think this is a continuation of last split where Lava has, across the board, been pretty good, but not fantastic for the side of Los Grandes. I think they were hoping for fantastic, but you can't complain too much with pretty good at the same time. But he's got to step up here on this Ahri Ivern matchup. Probably something he's not particularly comfortable with. Mid matchup, obviously going to be an important one, but Yeso, of course, Samira against Kai'Sa, Natuno against Trigo. This is going to be a really big one because none of this is going to matter at all if Natuno gets rolling on the Samira pick.
I am such personally a huge fan of this bot laner matchup here. Like, these are just, you know, AD carries that bring so much excitement into a game. For years, we've heard people, you know, when we get into those Kai'Sa Xayah metas, people complain, and I'm over here like, what? These are two like 80 carries with aggression and playmaking in their kits. Like, how do you not love this? And I look at Kaisa and Samira, and I see a whole lot of that. Opportunities for aggression, opportunities to make plays and pop off, and I think we're going to get that between these two bottom laners as this game continues.
I like this already. Grevthar getting a ward down, being able to support Grell. Both junglers are pathing towards this bottom side. So recognizing naturally that this is going to be the Armageddon lane, as I so love to call it, where the entire game will be decided. And so Grell using that information to try to play a bit aggressively and look to just force an L out. This was already answering one question we had for Vivocade. Would Grell give over a random kill in the first 3 minutes? The answer is no.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of holes you could poke in Grell's game from last week. Really a tough showing from BKS, but now getting down to the bottom lane, that dredge lane gonna miss from Ranger, so the BKS bottom lane, very, very safe. I want to go back to this last week. We already touched on that both of these teams had the O2. Important to note that both of Payne's wins from last week were against each of these teams respectively. What stood out to you from Los Grandes and VKS a week ago?
Hold that thought. We might have a bit of a scrap in the river as Grell's trying to take away this crab. Has the smite. Just smite it, my friend.
He doesn't want to. He maybe wants to go for the fight there. Isn't going to get the stun, and Anel's going to get in there. The roam on its way.
Oh, great hook.
Dredge line. Grevthar's in trouble. Has to flash out. Is burning from the ignite. Might go down, but it's actually first blood there from Trigo. The roam for the BKS bottom lane has turned it around. Anel will fall. Grell setting things up there. Natuno coming in and looking for something. Is able to take down Grevthar, but will die in turn. Trigo's going to get another kill. It's just blood all over the rim.
We wanted to see Vivocade be the ones to get early kills, and how about 4 at 4 minutes, baby, as Grell and Grevthar link up and play that beautifully. And guess who got all the gold? It's the players that need it the most. Grell as the mid-game bridge, and Trigo being the late-game carry.
Very chaotic fight there. A lot of the CC not quite landing early, and it turns out to be in favor of VKS. Grevthar walking very fine line there on the Ivern, supporting his jungler, and it turns this fight. Let's take a look at this replay. It all starts Grell going for the Scuttle Crab. You were asking for the smite. He doesn't go for it, and Anel goes in.
Well, you were asking me what I liked about these teams in the first week. Well, it's this from Vivocade, picking intelligent fights early on. It looks bad at the start because Grell and Grevthar get so low, but Trigo is there before Natuno. So even though the Samira arrives late and is able to clean up the kill, the damage is already done. The skirmish power of the Ivern Viego of all champions is way too strong. And Vivocade, they get it done just as they did in week 1.
Very well played there, and a great point by you to highlight that Grell and Trigo are the ones that really benefit from that fight. They both get a nice infusion of gold here 5 minutes into this game, and man, Trigo, I don't know that you can ask to be in a better position 6 minutes in, because this Kai'Sa's in a wonderful spot.
Now, Ranger did retain his flash. Trigo not having that one available. Los Grandes, they want to set up a play to punish, but Grell, a brilliant cover, sacrificing the camps to make sure he's here, so no kill will be able to go down, and Vivocade might even be able to take this. Grevthar's first move if he wants to come.
Yeah, Grell gonna be able to dash away from trouble. A lot of damage on the decision lane. Looks like Damage wants to get in there.
Ooh, Ranger!
They're gonna be able to get out of trouble for the tide, being Natuno able to walk away, but they're gonna get on top of Ranger and take him down, kill credit to Damage, but they do turn it around, shut down for Lava as Trigo will fall. Damage very low, has to deal with this Ahri, has the teammates in tow. He's gonna be the double kill from Lava, does get over the wall and into the tri-brush here. Is it gonna be able to get off this recall? The question is,
Trigo's coming too.
Yeah, there's no way.
He's dead.
And Grevthar are here. It's just who's going to get the kill credit.
There you go.
Trigo has arrived. It's going to be Grevthar taking that one onto Lava. Hawk, we've had some very slow early games today,
I know.
Right? Last game, I believe it was 10 minutes when First Blood came through. For our first game of the day, we had to wait 14 minutes. we've got 10 kills in 7 minutes, huh?
This game is just a complete bloodbath, and I'll break it down in the replay. All that matters is that Vivocade is unbelievably fed. Look at Grell at the top of the gold chart. 80 carries are surprisingly close, but overall, Vivocade, they've got themselves a nice 1.5 thousand gold lead. And if these skirmishes have already been going awry, try Herald spawning in just 40 seconds when a 3-0-4 Viego is going to be rocking up to the club.
Yeah, something tells me Los Grandes might be a little hesitant to contest Grell at these neutral objectives, but who knows? Meanwhile, bottom lane, damage getting in onto Ranger. Good help there from Trigo, but it looks like Los Grandes wants the fight. Damage staying too long. Natuno's going to get the kill in the 2v2. Do they stay longer? Natuno with the ultimate. It's the double kill for the Samira.
Uh-oh, that's a little bit of a mistake from the Vivocade bot lane, giving over 2, getting a little too big for their britches right now, and you can see Natuno, he's smiling, he's having a good time. We said that Los Grandes would be the Natuno show up against the Grell show of Vivocade. Well, now both the shows are coming online. Act 1 has concluded. Let's see who comes out after the intermission.
It's very important to note that we were talking about that gold infusion that Trigo got thanks to that early skirmish that went so heavily in favor of VKS. But despite that, before that bot lane 2v2, they were essentially dead even in gold, and now Natuno gets a double kill, and as you know, bot comes back to lane with a Duskblade.
Yeah, before the Herald as well. If anyone doesn't know, there's an interaction right now. Oh, hang on, we're fighting again. Screw the interaction, let's just go for it.
Yeah, Grell gonna get in on top of Ranger. Ranger goes to buy some time, and that's gonna be the Sejuani ultimate, and they have shut down Grell's Viego. Huge charm there, lands on a damage, has to flash out of trouble. Gremthor trying to keep him alive. It's not enough. Lava with his 3rd kill of the game.
And just like that, we're getting the other side of Grell that we saw in week 2. Overextension after overextension, going way too deep and giving up a shutdown over to Lava. As I was saying about the Samira Duskblade interaction, there's one right now where once you get your first reset, you go untargetable, but hey, your ult still goes, so you're just invincible ulting as Samira. It's super broken. It's getting patched out in 13.13, but we're not there yet, which means that Tuno is damn strong on the Samira. And hey, remember that 1.5 thousand gold lead for Vivocade? It's completely gone. In fact, Los Grandes, they're up 500 as the Seesaw does not, or continues, I should say, to keep swinging.
Man, and so much invested just to try and take down Ranger there, and Ranger sitting on the stopwatch says, hey, please, like, blow ultimates to try and kill me here. I know I'm squishy, but I'm just going to stall, and my entire team is ready to come in and pick up these kills. And this game very quickly, as you mentioned, Seesaw turning right back on its head. We're very close to even in terms of gold, even in kills, and I think something tells me Ranger's calling a lot of the shots here early game, which has surprised nobody because he has had NL just hard camping, pitching a tent in this bottom lane.
Yeah, Ranger, I think, has made a couple of mistakes to give over those 2 deaths, but 100% KP, only one on his team. So credit where credit's due. Sometimes you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, as it were. As I like this from Vivocade. This is exactly what I want to see. Start taking intelligent fights. When you've got the Ivern, you're stronger together. Shut down individual members and use the high single target damage and lockdown potential that you have. Don't split yourselves up and allow Los Grandes to run you down. So good dragon take comes through from the team. It's still a very close game despite some of the mistakes that, I mean, quite frankly, so we've seen from both sides.
Certainly. I want to, as Grell lands a little bit of CC there, here's the Daisy 1v9 that you were talking about, punishing Lava in the mid lane. I want to go check in on a lane that we really have had nothing to say about through the first 11 minutes, and rightfully so. Let's look at this top lane.
They're 0-0-0. Do they even matter?
I know.
Like they're off there, like sipping their smoothies on top lane island. You know.
I guess my question is like we know what Renekton brings to the table.
Yeah.
Right? This is so often a pick that we talk about. You know, building those early game lane kingdoms, and so often for years it's been paired up with things like the Nidalee and other picks that can dive top lane early and punish these picks. Is it concerning to you at all that Bull has essentially been invisible through 11 minutes, or is this okay considering the matchup and what's going on elsewhere on the map?
I think it's fine. I think Bull picked that, honestly, to be invisible for 11 minutes. He's lucky that the camera hasn't panned top lane to Gigo solo killing him. So, I mean, like,
sure.
we take those, right? You blind picked it, you know, hey, I'm just going to pick this to be functional in team fights, which the Renekton will be. And the thing about the Jax is it will outscale the Renekton one-on-one, but it's going to struggle to function in team fights a lot against Los Grandes' hyper-mobile draft. So I think it really does need to be that split-pushing threat, which, while it will be impactful, as long as Bull can hold his own as he has, then it should be fine as we see a fight in mid.
Yeah, BKS pushing forward to try and stop this Rift Herald. Damage is going to get caught out as a result, and it's all going wrong. It's a double kill for Natuno on the Samira. He is going to get taken out in turn as Gigo has arrived, but what a fight from Los Grandes.
Oh my word! What was that? A 3-2 for 2 at the end of it, I do believe. Maybe 3 for Los Grandes as Gigo was able to TP in and clean it up, but that's the Samira Duskblade interaction for you right there, Yeso. Diving under the tower with the twirly-whirly, spinning around, shooting and slashing everybody.
The twirly-whirly, can we just change the Samira ultimate to that? I would love
absolutely.
to see it. I'm completely on board. Hey, look! It's top lane.
Oh, I think this is the first time we've seen that part of the map this game. Look at the weather's nice up there this time of year, I think.
Let's go through this replay though, because they step forward, they want to stop this Rift Herald, and El says, okay, sure, we'll just engage.
Yeah, I mean, another great hook from Ranger to get the initial pick, and now things start to break down. Trico, I like the ult in, out of the Samira ult to be able to pick off Ranger, but the real story is Natuno diving under the tower, and he would have gotten away for it too if it wasn't for that meddling Jax on the other side. So, I mean, Vivocade, they have let things get a little out of hand. That time bomb might have already gone boom.
Yeah, 5, 2, and 4 on this Samira, and Los has been very happy to invest resources in this bottom lane. That first fight went badly for them, but they clawed their way back for sure